We're looking at the trade I took this morning on the Nasdaq at 9:30 open. I told the stream that I was looking for a drop below 8:30 open and towards midnight open. Once it had dropped towards midnight open, I saw something that made me engage, and we're just going to go through this trade recap, explain how I managed to have the right bias, the right entry, and still manage to lose. So I'm going to explain that to you now. In this part of the stream, I explained to the viewers that I'm only looking for longs. My draw is the previous day's high from last week, and all I'm looking for is a drop down at 9:30, and then somewhere during the macro, looking for an entry mechanism to go long after we're below 8:30 and near midnight open.
You do just want to kind of like watch, see what it does. But like I said, my expectations, the only thing I really want to engage in is something like that, right? I want to buy below all of this, essentially.
So we sat and we patiently waited for 9:30 to due to swing price down to anywhere below the 8:30, below the equal lows that I had pointed out, anywhere near the midnight open. Once it had given me a reason to go long, I was ready to engage. I was answering to a viewer why didn't I just short down to the midnight open, and the reason for it was simply just that I was only looking for longs today, and my discipline says that I'm only going to take a long. Even though I anticipate a Judah swing, it doesn't mean that I'm more confident in that happening. I'm mainly confident in the daily draw, and I don't want to fade that. So we can see it's moving down nicely, things were looking smooth, and I was ready to engage. I'm pointing out that there's an SMT going on, but I'm also pointing out that I think the Nasdaq is just going to catch up and also take those lows. Here I'm checking the lower time frames, getting ready to engage, as it's starting to look like the Judah swing has done enough damage to the sell side, and the trade that I've been scouting is getting ready to present itself to me.
Because of the amount of SMT going on, I may be willing to take that as a breaker. I regret this trade completely. I need to see price come above this, completely disrespect this gap here.
So I had immediate hesitation with this trade because while I entered on a 1 minute breaker, it was going straight into that 5 minute fair value gap. Now, if that 5 minute fair value gap as an inversion was my entry, I would have had no hesitation. But this is where I started to trip over myself a bit.
I want to see it act as an inversion fair value gap. The reason I regret this trade is because I went long because of stuff on the 1 minute, but this gap could send price lower on the 5 minute. I want the 5 minute to close above the midpoint of it.
I'm watching price as it works that 5 minute sell side imbalance, and I'm hoping it becomes an inversion fair value gap. The thing is it should become an inversion fair value gap. It's done enough work on the sell side. We've got buy side targets. The daily bias is bullish. It should go up, and therefore that gap should respect as a bullish inversion fair value gap. Me, I'm still new, I'm still fresh to my own analysis, and I'm a little bit hesitant.
That's great, fantastic. We're good. I'm happy to go break even, hoping that this down close candle supports price here.
So the problem with this break even right now is we're on a no news Monday, and that's where you're going to get the high resistance liquidity runs. What that means is price action is not going to be so clean. You're not going to get those clean 1 minute fair value gaps, and you're not going to see it have like institutional order flow entry deals. You're not going to see breakaway gaps be respected to the tick, and you're certainly not going to be able to expect one single order block to protect your whole entire stop loss. You know, you want at least 3 PD arrays. Where my stop initially was, it'd be a 5 minute inversion. There's that 1 minute breaker right where the liquidity was swept, and then right above that you've got that order block. I was hesitant, I was scared, and I went break even. Now watch just what I do next.
We're likely to get retracements like this because it's a no news Monday, so I'm going to get stop break even. You know, it's not the most sharp, cleanest price action because it's no news Monday. Shouldn't move my stop after moving it once, but I kind of regret going break even. I don't mind keeping it for now because it's a no news Monday, and like you can't just constantly go break even. Like your trades are going to run against you a lot.
Now, look, I totally get what I was doing here, right? My stop should have been lower. I realized immediately that I had hesitated and I went break even way too fast. The thing is, you shouldn't have made that move in the first place. Now, again, watch what I do next.
I am liking this trade. I'm just going to double check NQ. Okay, because of that, I'm going to go break even.
What's going on here is I checked the NQ contract because I was looking at MNQ, so I was trading the micros. I checked that 5 minute fair value gap on NQ, and I checked if it had closed above as it had done on the MNQ. It closed to the tick, so it hadn't actually quite closed above. And an old habit of mine, which I'd learned from other traders, was that if it hasn't closed above, then it's not an inversion fair value gap. The thing is that's not the way this works. If price action is bullish, if you know the draw, if you've known the liquidity is swept and the work has been done, the way price prints through that fair value gap will tell you everything you need. And that gap was already reacting bullish. It was already reacting as a 5 minute inversion fair value gap, and I should have left my stop where it was.
NQ didn't actually invert that gap, which is like not ideal for me. Wait for something cleaner. Price cleans up during the macro in the direction of the buy side, then I'll take it. On any other day, by the way, I wouldn't have gone break even there. It's just because it's a no news Monday. So you're going to get price action that's very choppy.
I understand the logic, but the fact that it's a no news Monday is the reason why you shouldn't have been in a rush to go break even. I even say in the stream that if I were on a live account, I wouldn't be trading. It being a no news Monday, you must understand that it's going to have high resistance liquidity. In that situation, you aren't in a rush to go break even. You accept the risk and you let it run.
I think we're done on the sell side. I don't think we need to go lower.
So I'm buying again inside this displacement during the 950 to 1010 macro. So once we're in that second trade, I'm just letting it play out. I'm holding it. I've left my stop underneath that 5-minute inversion, and then I'm just reading order flow. You know, I'm drawing the buy side imbalances on the way up. I'm watching how it responds to the new day opening gaps. I've got my target. I keep changing my final draw from a partial profit to the full profit. So I was just feeling a lot of hesitation today, and you just do. You will hesitate until you've done it enough times and you've documented it enough times where it's no longer something to hesitate with, you know? As you can see, I walked price like a dog, but my executions weren't so great. This is the part of the trade that's really difficult. It's so close to my first partial. What I would have done is gone break even at that point, but it just misses it. And then something else happens where the trade runs lower, then I take myself out before it even hits my stop because I'm fearful, and now I'm down and I have one trade left in the tank. You can see how quickly I got back in. I got back in on that massive displacement up. That's the thing. This is the moment where it's not necessarily tilt, but it's just massive hesitation. This would be my last trade that I can take because I have a 3 trade limit. And, you know, if you're going to manually close along only to get back into it when it runs up higher, I would call that tilt. You know, at the end of the day, that initial trade we took, if we just left it on, that's it. Now, this here, I've been stopped. My account's been locked. And I'm drawing some tape reading trades. This one ends up getting stopped. What happens is I go into demo and I place the same trade, 5 micros, on a demo account, and that's the trade that runs. So it's micromanaging. My goal this week is to stop micromanaging. My goal tomorrow when I stream is to stop micromanaging. But I'll just let that demo trade play. There's a point in time where I say this is going to be your silver bullet. And I appreciate you guys coming to check my trade recap, to watch me develop, to watch me just, you know, learn how to pair my ability to reprice with my ability to put on and manage risk. And that's the journey we're on, and that's where we're going. And hopefully tomorrow we'll have some better trade management.